Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Live with Liz. We're wrapping up the year and getting a little getting a little excited about all the holiday fun. And so that's why this Live with Liz is about holiday marketing for law firms and just kind of leveraging those things that you do for best practices and best outcomes and to get a little something out of what you're putting in, hopefully. If you are not doing any holiday marketing, you probably should hire someone to help you get on that. It's a really great time. You don't want to miss out on it when it comes to promoting your firm, not only for your clients and all of the different people that you serve, but also for your team and for just kind of the integrity of who you are, for having this happy feeling and emotional tie to it that makes us all want to work with you and be your friend. So, there are a lot of different things that you can do, and probably the same things that we say every year, but they bear being said again, and a nice little reminder of what can actually be done, right? I like to compartmentalize things and make sure that different things are taken care of in different buckets. And I'm a planner, so we like to do this well in advance and throughout the year. Think about what needs to be done. Hey, good morning, Leah. Thank you for helping me this morning set this up. I was actually a minute late because I really think there's something alive in my computer. That was a side note. A little like freaking out this morning. So if I seem a little distracted, it's because there's this little mousy sound coming out of my computer that just feels like it shouldn't be there. So anyway, I digress. Holiday marketing. you know, we have the when I say compartmentalize, you've got your holiday party. Hopefully you're planning one. Hopefully you're planning one for your team and not to the exclusion of your clients. If you're doing something for your clients, great. It's difficult to get face time during the holidays and to make just the time and effort to get people to come together with schedules colliding and kids off of school and everything happening all at the same time. You feel like that extra obligation might just bring you down, but it's still worth it in the end because when you end up spending that time with people and you know coming together face to face, it just actually feels good and get some closure. You get to talk about things, and I feel like we can take a beat from some of um, you know uh, other people around us who do things a little bit differently and maybe celebrate New Year another time of the year. Like me, for example, we have New Year's, somewhere around September, October is kind of the New Year's for us, but it's a good time when you're thinking about what's happening at the end of the year for certain types of communication. The mea culpa and gratitude. I think these are the two at the very top of my list that you want to think about at the end of the year and maybe before you get to the end of the year, but it's still not too late right now to consider who you need to reach out to and make things right, because the end of the year and that spirit and that feeling, that's a good time even if you neglected to address something throughout the rest of the year where maybe you were too embarrassed or didn't have time or out of sight out of mind, whatever the reason might have been. If you did something wrong, it's a great time to come back and say, hey client, we maybe could have done this a little bit better. And in the spirit of the holiday, I just wanted to reach out and make sure that I touched base with you to set things right. And hopefully in the new year, we can come together again and figure out a way forward, or, a reconnection. And that reconnection, it's so important. But that kind of acknowledgement, it's humble. It's not something you expect from your lawyers. And it's something that can really resonate at this time of year. So that's one of the types of communication that I think you should think about and think, well, is there somebody I need to set something right with? And this is something that as a lawyer or a law firm, if you could have done something better, you can address it now. And then the other is obvious, it's obvious to me, but is gratitude, which, we feel it, especially when the paycheck comes in. We're thankful for the people who send us the referrals for our key clients and for all the people who make the magic happen in the background who work with us, our team. This is the time of year. If you haven't shown that gratitude throughout the year, this is a time where you actually get that chance to make up for it all at the end and say, you know what? Maybe we haven't been so consistent throughout the year and showing how much we truly appreciate you. And we want to take a minute and do that before the year is finally over to just say, we know. We know how much you've been doing throughout the year. We know we couldn't be where we are as a team without you. Your contributions are truly meaningful. And I'm just going to take a second and thank my own team because guys, I don't know where I would be without you. I'm gonna cry. It's really the time to bring it all together and to just take a sec and say, I didn't do this by myself. I didn't make it through the year, whether you're ending it on a high note or maybe you've taken a couple of steps back. You did this with other people. You didn't get here on your own. And it's the time to reflect and say that other type of communication, thank you. Now, you can say thank you during the holidays in a lot of different ways. Gift giving is definitely preferable to a lot of people. Holiday bonuses, never seen somebody sad about a holiday bonus. No, and these can be motivational things that can carry you through to make sure that your new year gets off on the right foot. Everybody's like, okay, great. Or if your holiday bonus is in the pits, then maybe people will complain about it. Yeah, actually, I have seen people complain about holiday bonuses now that I think about it. Still a good idea. Pay your people. And we know that there's a lot of competition out there for good workers who really are contributing. So definitely take some time to show that gratitude in a lot of different ways and or in the way that makes the most sense, which might be money. Now, as far as the outward marketing for your firm and compartmentalizing what this looks like, you've got those different buckets. You've got those in person events. Maybe there's someone you have to get together. Maybe you've got a meeting. Maybe you've got holiday planning. That's one thing. You may be doing this. You may have already done it. Happy holidays, fun, music, lots of, food, whatever it is. But there are some other things. And there, for me, I like to look at it with content. Okay, the holidays, you might think people are not visiting websites, but actually website traffic toward the end of the year goes up. People have some time off. They're going to be browsing. Do you want to be in their face? Do you want to just make a connection? Do you want to be relevant for them? And there are a lot of different ways that you can do that with your content, whether you're focusing in a hyper local environment, trying to connect with your domestic base. If you're B2B, it may be a little more difficult to get that face time, but if you do something meaningful at the end of the year that brings people together, that makes people feel good, you may be able to set a tone for how people are thinking about your law firm. This is maybe something that is especially effective for those of you out there who are seen as the cost centers. It's a burden to deal with you because you bill me so much money, I can't even pick up the phone and call you. That's an issue. But at the end of the year, you can make people feel good and say, you know what? Yes, I recognize that we substantially earn for the value that we provide, but we go above and beyond. And here's how we go above and beyond for our community. In fact, a look back when it comes to content is a good idea right now. You can take a look and say, okay, throughout the year, here are all the happy things we did, all of our pro bono work, all of our charity work, all of the volunteerism that we promoted. You can also do things that are related less on the community side and more about who you are and what you're doing as a firm. So if your law firm has a mission and has vision and values, what have you done throughout the year to marry up with that and to achieve that mission and to work toward the goals that you have and to just set your vision? Are there different activities that you've taken? Are there things that you've learned throughout the year? Are there educational initiatives that you've been a part of? And are those things, those milestones that you can celebrate at the end of the year, because this is the time to do that. And those types of communications can be interesting and set the tone for how people think about you and your firm, cost center or not. I want to be working with a firm that's doing good. So, can you do good at the end of the year? And this brings us to the next bucket, which is not just the content part of it, but community and giving back. And what are you doing to do good? So, I mean, at the end of the year, you end up maybe last minute, maybe not last minute. Charitable donations are a big one that we see that make people feel good, that don't take a lot of time. Maybe they take a little bit of money, but they're certainly worth it. And I particularly love to receive those messages from the firms that I know are successful and doing well that are giving back. So if you've got some charities that you are tied to, maybe you do some pro bono work with some different organizations out there, but maybe you're just doing a straight up donation that makes people feel good at the end of the year. And you're saying, you know what? We are lucky. We are successful. We have done well. And not only are we thankful for it, here's how we show it with our actions and say something that makes people think of your firm in a light that is happy or, just gracious and respectable. It's just different than the other way. And all of these things that you're doing, whether it's content or giving back, and not just the charitable donations. You can get everyone on your team involved and do things like toy drives or food drives. If you're in a cold climate, you could collect coats and scarves that people don't use to donate to charity. I mean, it's just kind of limitless. There's so many different things that you could be doing to give back. And then you can take that and put that as part of your message when you're doing your content and saying, you know what, again, thank you for everything. Here's what we're doing to make the world a better place. And, you know, maybe carry that through, get some inspiration for the rest of the year, that motivation. And what are you doing without even maybe knowing it? You're building relationships, you're creating brand awareness, you're driving traffic to your website, you're growing your audience, you're getting people to respect you, maybe even like you. And if you're trying to reach someone like me, maybe just that super American sitting in front of a computer saying, what lawyer are we going to hire today? Maybe you want to do something that resonates with them. Think about who they are. Think about your clients. Now, we've only got a few more minutes here, but there are some things when it comes to your holiday card. We talk about the holiday card every year in your message. It is not too late to send a holiday card. It's not too late to think about it. It's not too late to create one. Now, maybe a little late to send it in the mail and to get that, solid feel from opening a piece of mail or getting a postcard, which is just delightful today, even if it may not be as environmentally conscious as we are being. I opened every single e-card I get because I just think they're absolutely delightful, and that a firm has taken the time, sent a pretty message, maybe informed me about some of the things that they're doing. So this is where we get all the ideas of what all the different firms are doing, where they're doing it, how they're doing it, and what that looks like. Again, building relationships, again, brand awareness, a touch point with your client, even if they don't open the card, just that you sent one. Oh, okay, there's that one. And, this could be helpful just for your messaging. Again, not too late. And within these, there are things that you can do. Now, I don't want to open an animated card that has every signature from everybody who works at your firm. I'm sorry, but the signatures are a little bit maybe not what you want to do. You want to be a little bit more connective. And we all know links are dangerous. If you have to do something with an attachment, it makes it a little more difficult. So, make sure that you're using the right tools for sending out a holiday card. Definitely make sure that you're utilizing your CRM and making sure you're sending your holiday cards to the right people. Although I don't mind getting holiday cards from strangers, it's fine too. And when you're sending a holiday card, maybe you put some of those celebrations in there. Maybe you put a little bit of that gratitude in there, but keep it short and sweet, and still a message of who you are and what you do. But definitely the gratitude and the messaging can go a long way in a short, simple phrase. Happy holidays, season's greetings. Be conscientious about who you're sending it to. Not everyone out there celebrates every holiday the same way or the same time even. And it's really interesting to acknowledge that. And it makes you kind of feel like you know who you're sending something to. And it makes it that much more of a connection between you and your colleagues or your clients when you're sending something out. There are some things that just kind of work every year. You have a lawyer or a client who's an artiste and you want to put an image that resonates with them. Is there a charitable organization that you're working with that has some imagery that also marries with the happy holiday theme that you can send out that honors that relationship? Things like that always tend to work. I mean, that always makes me feel good. So, it doesn't just have to be a ribbon that says happy holidays. It can be something a little more meaningful with just a tiny bit of thought put into it, just a happy message at the end of the year. So all of those things that you can do set you up for the next year. And, if you've got the time, you could go into it a little bit more. You could go into the goal setting and say, oh, this is what we want to come out of our marketing. If you don't have the time, you can hire a third party to help you with your holiday planning. Lots of firms do it. Maybe there are people at your firm who just love the holidays, and you could get them involved and, having people participate in messaging from the firm. Even, if you've got some assistants or secretaries, or if you've got paralegals or even partners, you can put them all together and say, these people really love the holidays. Let's let them have at it. And it's just another way to bring the team together and to let people do what they want to do at the holidays to spread that good feeling that happy cheer. And if you've actually watched this far, thanks for joining me for Live with Liz Holiday Edition. And I hope your holidays are just amazing. I hope everyone out there is healthy and happy and looking forward to what comes next in 2023. And hopefully Live with Liz will be on for 2023. I think we're going to skip out next week because we're going to do a little family time too. And yeah, I hope you'll join me again next year as we take a look at lots of different marketing and business development tips and tricks in the industry when it comes to legal services, when it comes to B2B, and when it comes to international legal work. So thanks again for joining me. So glad to have you here on this ride. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus. Is that now or is that Thanksgiving? I don't know. And okay, so take care, everybody. Thanks again.